How do we feel about this Wraith King? It's a hero that I don't think has shown up very much in Southeast Asia during these TI10 qualifiers. It was a Natsumi favorite during the DPC, but they were also like doing all sorts of Yopaj Sand Kings stuff and doing weird pairings with it. The hero has kind of fallen off in popularity as Execration pick up the winner Wyvern.
This is just much more of a normal draft, you know? None of this crazy stuff coming out of left field. I like the Lion. I was thinking that they were... I know it's only a pos 4, but they were lacking something that was going to be able to deal with this Mirana, right? You've got the Wraith Fire Blast, which is going to move very slowly, doesn't allow you that instant lockdown. Going to respond with a Lifestealer, huh? I mean, it's decent against high HP targets, I suppose, but...
Haven't banned out Razor, though, so if Neon want to maybe... send the Viper mid or just have Razor in the game, period. That's an availability.
10 seconds remaining.
It does look like a...
I would just... would you hate to see Viper on your Page though, Ares? Like,
I don't want to see that at all.
It just doesn't feel like his
no.
hero.
It's 100% Enryu. I really do not want to see Yopaj play that Viper.
Oh god. It's happening.
Okay.
It's happening. The worst case scenario.
They do pick quite the hero, though, to go versus the lifesteal. The lane's going to play pretty well. You've got the Amp as well. Doom doesn't have a high amount of armor. You now increase your Roshan taking potential with that Slaughter. It's a bit more on the physical route, though, so we have to keep in mind this Wyvern looks beautiful this game. You've got a curse to set up for the arrow. You now have the also capability to keep someone alive with the Embrace, so... They're doubling down on lanes, which we've seen a lot of priority on so far in this series. I am now all eyes on how they want to ban, because Execration, they need an Infest carrier, some Spirit-esque hero here for Yowei mid.
And they also, you saw how quickly that Razor ban came out. I felt like it was kind of a, holy crap, they didn't pick the Razor, let's make sure we get rid of it right now. But I mean, this is Neon we're talking about. Maybe this could be a Slaughter not in an off-lane role. It could be something super unconventional. You never know. Like, if there was any team to do it... I was thinking like a 5 Slaughter, just for something completely out of left field.
Well, I mean, if anything else, it's probably going to be John Well on the Viper. So support Viper, and they're going to look for a Yopaj hero now. And Execration are going both ways. They ban out a Razor in case it was a mid lane Viper. They ban out an Ancient Apparition in case it's a support Viper. This doesn't tell me
show
anything.
Too much, yeah. Yep, perfect.
Like, this tells me nothing.
That was kind of the issue, is that they didn't have this 24th pick. So going for someone that's incredibly flexible, they needed burst potential, they needed kind of a stun as well. And like we highlighted, you don't want to show where your lanes are going to be, what heroes you're playing. I don't hate the Lina.
If it's not a mid Lina, though, I feel like Slardar is kind of useless, because who's taking advantage of Corrosive Haze besides Wraith King? That's like the only physical damage that you have. Lina these days, we see with these Daedalus pickups, they become incredibly competent right-clickers, but only if they're given mid lane farm.
And it's not like it's even like, it's not even a good Yule Scepter game. You kind of need it just for the mana regeneration, but like I feel like you don't even need that setup. You can just go super early into the right-click style build. Although BKB is going to be kind of pointless against a Doom and a Wyvern.
I'm trying to think of what hero they can go here for Yowei. Like, Ember's standing out. I'm not a huge fan of Storm into Lina, because if you do go yours, you offer a lot more catch. I think Ember's a little bit more difficult to get that initial jump on before Lion gets Blink. They just have to get away now to get on the Lina, get on the Lion instantly. Even the Viper as well, if you can bring down. So I'm trying to think of some heroes that feel that.
Death Prophet or something like that. Does decently in laning stage. You're going to have high HP targets to be able to Spirit Siphon. Ooh. They're going to Lesh instead. Something else that's going to... I'm keen to see how, like... The thing that I really like about Execration's cores is that they play a lot for each other. And I feel like we're going to see many times where Palace is going to be infesting Yowei just to make sure they get that extra little burst of HP coming through in the middle of these team fights and allowing that to take it through. And, I mean, I know we've been... with you, Ares, this entire time, and Tsunami, of course, joining us. But we've got Cinderin as well joining us on BDZ's Mirana with the set that he's got.
Oh, he has
the
Sind mount. Okay, be sure to tell Pythian to give me a showcase view on that one, because I'm very curious to see it in game. And my favorite pairing, not even beyond the Mirana, Wyvern and Leshrac have been my favorite two, or rather, Leshrac is my favorite Wyvern pairing, because I don't think there are many other cores that can deal damage while Cold Embrace. It's pretty much just like Death Prophet with Exorcism, and Leshrac with Edict and Pulse Nova. And so, with all of this physical damage on Neon, I feel like they're not going to be able to have the resources necessary to penetrate the Cold Embrace, and look at that beautiful Mirana mount.
Oh.
What a work of art.
Like, you were calling for the Death Prophet with this last pick, and I feel like the Leshrac can kind of fulfill that role with taking towers, because they didn't have the greatest way previously with the Lifestealer, but I'm a bit worried that they might not jump Yopaj. So if Lina gets ultra fat with the Corrosive Haze to amp you with MKB potentially, then it could be a scary prospect. But it's a Nico Doom, which is something that I'm always a big fan on as well. So again, it's another draft where I'm kind of 50-50 here.
And this is a Doom that has a lot of value, because really the only thing he needs to worry about is dooming the Lina. No one else really cares, and Lina hates having to be doomed if she's going to be the right-clicking core with Fiery Soul, so at least we've got different heroes all across the board. Viper may be the only mainstay, but it's going to be a different Viper. It's a support Viper, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it all goes down. Elimination on the line. Winner moves forward. Loser is out of contention for the International 10. Go ahead and take it away, Danog and Ares.
Thank you, Tsunami. Like you said, winner gonna move on. They will face Boom Esports or Galaxy Racer. We are yet to have that series. In fact, that one is going to be up after this. But guys, what a series we have. Game 3 on the line. And Danog, we've seen previously in both games, it's been Execration who have been the one to have an early advantage in these games. Do we feel like that's going to be the same case here in this third game?
Well, OB.Neon are trying to make sure that that doesn't happen. Full 5-man smoke. They realize the importance of being able to take this key advantage. They're going to walk into this ward, though, CTM. They place it down. It's completely scouted out, so a lot more gold going over the way of Yoe. I wonder if he's going to give the Sentry Ward over and maybe allow him to just get that little bit of extra experience, or if it could just be looking to go over to BDZ, because it's going to be very important for him to pick up that level 2 as quickly as possible, considering you are against the POS 5 Viper.
Before we see that ward actually get de-warded, that's a pretty cool ward. Is that new? One of the Dire Observer? I don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah, it's the Battle Pass one.
Ah, okay, makes sense. All-seeing eye dogs. Yeah, I like it. Seeing some, I feel like that's one thing that we don't have too much of, like some really cool ward cosmetics.
I'm still using like some sort of fish one, I think. I don't know. But with that, I actually like even the small things. Like BDZ made sure to shoot that arrow first onto the high ground. It did end up scouting out the Wraith King, so they were thinking, like, maybe this is mind games. Maybe they're just like, oh, that's the reason why it might be warded, not because we had our Observer ward down first. So maybe that'll save that ward on the top side.
Oh, it's another Viper game and another tri-lane. Even though Viper is as a 5, Execration bringing the aggressive tri-lane with Palos, BDZ, and RR. Now, I do want to ask, yes, South America are one of the better regions to play this Viper as a position 5. Do we see Southeast Asia do it at all?
I mean, you don't want to say they do it at all, but it's certainly not to the same level of effectiveness. It just seems like an SA staple. It's going to be good at bullying out this Mirana, but actually they get the stunning onto CTM.
That's more than likely your first blood. They're going to get both couriers here too. Januel and Lion losing their courier and losing their life as well on CTM.
It's not the start you wanted. At least Natsumi was farming away, getting that solo experience in lane, but that's not the trade that you want to give up for it.
Oh, we got a second in that tri-lane. How do we feel like this mid matchup's going to fare? The Leshrac versus the Lina, both heroes that deal an incredible amount of magical damage early.
Yes, but the thing is, it severely, with this Lesh pick, hinders the Yopaj's ability to make these rotations early on and secure Neon's early game, because you leave that lane, and if the wave is anywhere near, like, midway pushed, or even, heaven forbid, closer towards your tower, you can take a lot of damage to your tier 1, and you know that this is Natsumi, who is going to be wanting to farm. I don't think this is the sort of game where you go into something like an armlet.
And then down bot, we have this solo matchup. Enryu and Nico. Feels like it's a pretty good lane for Enryu. I mean, any melee matchup, Doom, his armor's a lot better now with that recent change. He's got 5 base armor, so we'll see how that's going to come into play here. Zhao, oh, he eats the arrow. Another one on the mark here for BDZ. It looks like Genuel is going to be able to make it back underneath the tier 1 tower.
Radiant's courier
Gets the return kill on the courier. Very nicely done. Still level 1 though on BDZ, so he has to be careful with how far forward he's extending himself here. I think the story of this game is how much faith OB.Neon are putting into their newest recruit, Enryu, because taking out this Wyvern at the start of team fights is going to be, I don't want to say their win condition, but it's going to heavily tilt things in their favor if they're able to remove that factor from the equation, considering all the right-click damage that they have. Natsumi, Slardar, you've got the Lina as well, who's more likely being into the right-click build. Still going to go the Yule Scepter, but still, you'd need to transition into being that right-clicking core if you've got all of this minus armor, and if you want to stay relevant into the later stages of the game.
Another arrow on the marquee early. BDZ, if he can continue with some of these arrows hitting the mark, then that could be a good sign for what we're going to see as this game moves on forward. But how do we feel like this tri-lane is faring up? Is there a team that is getting the advantage at the moment?
I mean, I feel like you're reasonably happy with this on Neon's side, just because, I mean, Mirana's one of those heroes that needs a lot more levels to be able to do what she does, whereas, you know, with the Viper, all you really need is the 1 point in the Nether Toxin, and you can bully people out quite easily. You can even, you know, shove out creep waves. You can see he's getting a nice pull happening here. So as long as this creep wave continues to stay around this dire tier 1 tower, I think Natsumi is going to be totally fine with how this is panning out.
So he's 24 last hits at the moment. The Bracer along with the Chainmail, recognizing that he's going to need these stats to keep himself in the aggressive lane that we have. It'll be a lot of action at the moment, and potentially already we're seeing a lot of the stacks as well in the jungle. Heroes like the Leshrac, the Lina, there's a double at the Ancients for Radiant, double at the Hard as well, and I believe for Dire, they just have a double at the Medium by the Outpost here. So not as much emphasis for Yopaj, but another thing is the fact that they actually blocked out the small camp here against Lina. This is something that we saw a lot of emphasis on in previous games against the Enchantress, just to take away her effect. And Yopaj on the Lina, this is a hero that very much thrives on shoving up the lane, going back, farming up the jungle, especially that small. So nice awareness from Execration.
If anything, I mean, it's so hard to do it, right? Because you've been in this tri-lane and you don't have a ton of levels.
Nico, he's gonna fall. You see this solo matchup, it is not going well. 24 to 13. It's level 6 now as well. And coming back into this lane, it's actually so difficult. You've got minus 10 armor as mid. Yopaj falling incredibly low. A very nice. Oh, CTM. What a timing on the TP. They line up for the double.
Man, that's the sort of play that can completely turn things around. I was thinking, because of the lower levels as a result of this tri-lane, that, you know, you wouldn't be able to make this rotation towards the mid lane on CTM to try and kill Yoei, who had just TP back to the lane. So if you kill him off, that's a lot of his time not being used. They did a good job of being able to block out this small camp, and it would have brought Yopaj back into this game, because still, right now, he's sitting towards the bottom of the net worth there.
CTM should fall mid. Slow thanks to the Arctic Burn, extra level in it, sets up for the arrow. And I love the rotation as well. They've got a catapult wave, but Yopaj is just gonna turn. Drops the Laguna. Yoei's incredibly difficult to bring down thanks to the one charges, but will still fall nonetheless. There's another rotation from the support, Jean Yuel, getting involved to kill the Mirana.
That is kind of busted, though, that the Diabolic Edict continues after you're dead. Like, so this tower is basically half HP already, less than half HP, because of that siege creep. So good recognition of that by OB.Neon to be able to, you know, rotate through and make sure that you're not losing a ton of your map control this early.
And that could have been completely different as well. The fact they had double bounty for Yopaj to be able to refill up before, you know, that Lion TP in just to keep his life. it was the 3-minute bounty was still there, and the 6-minute bounty was just coming up. So Yopaj was actually able to still stay in the lane. And if he wasn't there, that's potentially killing a support into the tower. Just the beautiful movement from Execration. You're bringing the supports with that catapult timing, with the 2 points in the edict. It could have been disastrous early for Neon, but they withstand.
He's here on the bottom side. He's had to walk all the way down here to make sure he's not giving away his TP scroll. That's one thing Neon really like to do. They like to place these deep observer wards either behind or right in front of tier 1 towers so that they know when they can make their more aggressive rotations. And with this one here, that's why they're not just getting right up in there, hitting the tier 1 tower. The siege creep's going to die because of it, but still, better the siege creep die than you.
Seem like at the moment the tri lane, of course, is crumbled with all the emphasis that we've seen on mid, and now some of the emphasis put on bot as well. Nico is going to go for this Midas build, but Neon, they've got their sights on the stacks at the triangle. As Yopaj with that haze here, he wants to just try and maybe see if we get a kill, maybe even get a couple of creeps as well.
Yeah, he took the 3 big creeps of all those 3 different stacks there, so nicely done. Even gets an observer ward. Well, not going his way. Zhao's going to pick up the gold, and it's looking nice. He's got a fluffy hat coming out to him as well. We know that that's the real meta.
Honestly, when they use this first Doom, a bit more difficult on a hero like Natsumi. Well, in fact, they don't need it because Yahweh, he's got plenty of damage and also plenty of mana left in the tank to man fight here, but they're going to turn. Conic Bros, not enough. Burst potential coming through thanks to Laguna Blade, but there's the Doom. It's onto the Lina, but where are the stuns? Moving incredibly fast thanks to the Fury Soul, 2 points along with the Windlace. So Lina makes it back to safety. They will end up losing CTM though.
Yeah, they end up losing CTM. Kind of interesting because he had a Tango left. He could have gotten underneath the tower. Maybe if they dived in super far, could have maybe gone for a turnaround, but with that Doom still having the lingering effects of it, not feeling confident and not wanting to even put Yopaj in any kind of risk of going down there.
That's an incredible play from Neon, actually. Like, if you lose Natsumi twice there, they would have then taken the T1 tower top, would have made it much more difficult for him to farm in the jungle. But now you see where the cores are playing just opposite sides of the map. As Zhao will fall top, he's just trying to soak up whatever experience he can at the moment, but an incredible TP. Wraith King goes bot, takes that tier 1 tower. Now he's got more camps to play with, and naturally the Wraith King is someone who wants to be playing around this bottom side of the map, around the triangle camps as well because of the Ancient. So love the play from Neon.
Yeah, and good warning as well, right? They're setting up this observer vision to make sure that all of the different Wraith King skeletons are going to continuously push forward. They're always going to start running down towards the lane, but if there's neutral creeps to hit, they'll divert to get that, and it just speeds up your farming efficiency by an incredible amount. They will still end up losing the top tower, but I feel like if you're trading against a Leshrac, you're more than happy.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you also see that Enryu's about to have a blink completed. He's top of the net worth. You know, there's going to be a bit of a timing here for Neon with this blink where they can get active, knowing that, I mean, Doom's going Midas, so he's looking to scale a lot more into this late game. So all eyes on how Neon want to try and utilize this blink here, because they've got a lot of pick-off capabilities. You can run a duo with either the Slardar Lion, Slardar Lina, even kind of the Viper as well. There's a lot of pairings they can have right now on the side of Dire.
Natsumi, he's feeling real confident. He walked right underneath that outpost so they could see where he was, walked into lane next to the tier 2 tower. He is far away from the rest of his team, and he does not have ultimate.
And in fact, he just eats the arrow. Natsumi will fall. That's a big kill to pick up. His first death of the game. And the Wraith King was starting to get a bit out of hand if he was able to continue with that steroid thanks to the Skellies. But now it gives Lifestealer a little bit of time to catch up. I believe this is the armlet completed here for Palos.
Yeah, he's the one that needs to be farming super early on, joining a lot of these fights. Of course, with the BDZ Mirana, he's already got the Spirit Vessel halfway. Halfway towards the Spirit Vessel.
Oh, life still gets ripped apart. That was the pairing.
Early blink tag coming out.
Yep. Still sticking around though.
He's putting his team on his back.
Uh-oh. He stays too long. Doom's out on Nico. Maybe CTM can get another Ravage. CTM. Yeah, I don't think so at all. Oh, they even get the curse. So even CTM is going to end up falling here. Nice rotation from Execration. I mean, you lose Palos, but you get some revenge as Nico picks up a double.
Just little mistakes. I mean, CTM, unnecessary death. Natsumi before probably shouldn't have died. You know, they hadn't shown themselves on the map in quite a while. You'd given them all the information you could possibly need in the world, and I mean, you had an observer ward, right? And Arrow is a pretty slow-moving stun. He could have sidestepped that. Maybe it would have given his team enough time to rotate down and save him, but not going to be the case. He continues taking this ancient stack. Don't think BDZ is going to scout it out, though.
They might try and kill BDZ, though. Underneath that observer ward,
Yeah.
maybe Nico bot. He's away.
Moonlight Shadow used while people were in vision of creep waves and observer wards, so always having to be quite careful about that. CTM is going to walk on forward a little bit. I know that he was coming there because of that more recent observer ward placed by BDZ, but I mean, this is the way that Execration like to play. In the first, like, 12 to 17 minutes, they put all of their vision in aggressive spots, especially against teams that like to make these 5-man rotations like Neon.
But Yopaj was going to try and drop the LSA after the duels. I'm just seeing these games start to slow down, though, as soon as I say that. Neon, they're going to smoke up and head to the top side here. They're trying to catch up Palos as lifestealer.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's just all about enabling your cores to continue on farming. You've got a Doom with a Midas, so you need to make sure that he, is able to take maximum advantage of that. You can never die with both the Devour and Midas on cooldown.
And Ryu has found the Wyvern. Bit of an easier target with the Mirana's leap capability to escape. And a great curse locks in all 4. RR. 2 curses in a row on CTM is... It's like, oh, why is he using them on me? But they get the kills. You're happy with that. It also is a smoke for nothing down bot, though. You go. In trouble. He's got the team starting to swing down to help out. He's gonna even have to drop the Doom as well, Januel, a little bit too late.
Continue?
Now the sprint's expired. So Slider, he's got to run himself back to safety. But Neon, they don't have any more rotations. It's just Yao that can try and protect the Slider through the Doom, and he's going to be able to do so at a high extent. So find a 1-for-1, but you're happy with that. That's a Doom use for a position 5 death.
That's value. That is such great value right there. And even with that kill, he's going to bring himself closer to finishing up the Force Staff. Fantastic against the Doom, just getting away from the Leshrac as well.
How do we feel like either team is wanting this game to go? Like, is one team happy with this slow status quo that we have at the moment?
Well, I mean, you have to think Neon, right? Because they have the Relic picked up, not quite finished into the Radiance just yet, but that's a farming item. It's good against the likes of, Doom. It's okay against the Lifestealer, but
Mid lane.
I mean, realistically, that is what you're
going to jump in, Yahweh. Got the Eels defensively. They're going to have to try and turn to deal with RR, and the Laguna Blade will cut him down. But Nico, so wanting a little bit of revenge, unfortunately, there's no more backup.
Fortunate there, the Wyvern was about 2 seconds off having that Winter's Curse available. Could have seen a third good one in a row. They do still save their tier 1 tower, though. The use of all of that lane shove, making sure that the siege creep wasn't a factor. Going into the early BKB on Yopaj. Okay, kind of forcing them to use the Doom into him to make sure that they're limiting his impact.
Radiant's middle tower.
Oh, we actually... Natsumi got the tower still. There was a couple of heroes nearby. They're just, I'm not going to deny it. What's this Wyvern set to? Is that another one of the new ones from the Battle Pass?
Sure is. Yeah.
That is
I use the wings. I keep the old helmet is still good for me.
That is an awesome looking Wyvern. My dude just as colorful as anything. And Ryu?
He's going to show on this bot side. It's under the cover of the smoke and the Moonlight Shadow, but he's hiding. He's hiding.
So
The spidey senses.
And now this
I'm
is
liking
time.
this Ags purchase as well, by the way, for Slada. He's still a fair way away, but it's going to be nice. Slada.
What do you feel like is why do you like the items here on Slada?
I mean, you just need to be able to stay on top of the Leshrac as much as possible, right? And it's going to allow you to do that with all of the status resist, magic resist that's provided from it.
Is it? I don't know if it gives magic resist. I think regen armor and
Yeah, the status though.
That's also another big timing is the Radiance pickup from Natsumi. So we might actually see Neon get a little bit more active here. He's also got an extra point into the reincarnation.
It's going to be nice. Means that maybe he could farm a little bit more aggressively with the only the 2 minutes on the reincarnation as opposed to the 3.5.
This is
How
Radiance.
lucky they're going to get with some of these neutrals as well. I mean, they've been a bit more jungle centric as you do on the Dire side, which means that they've been able to pick up a few more of those tier 2 items. No, I mean, they're going to be praying for that Paladin Sword, of course, already having the lifesteal and building into the Sange next. And, well, you've even got your full skeleton army with no glyph available. Actually, just pops, sorry. So that siege creep, even on 7 HP, could do a lot of work towards this bot side. Zhao just placed behind him with the 4-staff at the ready.
Tower is under attack.
They're going to be able to get here fast enough, though. The tower's falling pretty low. Natsumi's got backup. But how do they start the fight here? Lead him forward once. Nico, Blink, and Ryu. Great Roboto with his crush. The curse instantly. Only locking
tanky,
into. It sets up for the arrow and the split earth onto both. CTM, he hasn't been able to line up an incredible earth spike as they'll lose the reincarnation. And it's all shambles right now from Neon. The Infest is out for the bonus health. Nico, he's still got the Doom as well. They don't even need it for this team fight. He's going to be able to find the Wraith King to the northern side, and Yopaj, there's the Doom. It'll come into play to cancel the TP. 4 down and no casualties for the Radiant lineup.
I mean, it's just these tiny things changing things around. The 4-staff was used, actually pushed him down into the trees, not able to get away just in time. It was a good, I think, 2 or 3 man slithering crush coming through, but I mean, just the follow-up, it allows you to set up so easily for that Leshrac stun, especially if it's onto these 2 heroes that still can take a lot of magic damage in the Slardar and the Wraith King. We saw there, like, Tsunami was highlighting it before. They tried to put all the burst in onto Yoe, doesn't matter. You've got your Pulse Nova still going, you've got your Edict still going, Cold Embrace is leveled up to maximum, he's got the Holy Locket, and the Infest Bomb as well, able to keep him perfectly healthy. So, again, Wyvern has to die, and I feel like you can't just turn around and expect to kill the Leshrac in a fight like that when you don't have full information and understanding of the team's rotations.
And it doesn't feel like Wyvern's going to die through the Slardar jump. I think they need another blink, and I mean, you see Natsumi has it queued up after the Sunge, but this is going to give Execration a decent window here where the Wyvern should be very difficult to bring down.
He's going to go blink himself just to make sure that he could stay completely away from all of these team fights. That's his job. It's basically, when these BKBs start to come out for Neon, he needs to be able to blink in, use the Winter's Curse after the BKB's been used to essentially nullify it. Or if the Leshrac, maybe the Doom, are getting jumped on and a lot of spells pumped into them, just use your Cold Embrace. Jump in to save them without any risk of yourself dying.
Radiant's bottom tower is
They
under
will get their tier 2 though.
The Execration, it might look to try and start to control the top side here as Nico did just complete the BKB, top of the net worth on the Doom, even though that laning stage didn't go as well as what you would be hoping for Nico here. So he's still looking like he's going to have a lot of impact in this elimination game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Just trying to think how they're going to deal with this overwhelming threat that seems to have come. I mean, the Leshrac hasn't had the most amazing game by any stretch, but you've still been able to pick up your Eternal Shroud in combination together with the Yule Scepter, and you've got the supporting cast to enable you. So I think Yoe's game is going to be just fine, even though he's sitting 5th on the net worth.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Closes
I feel
Palace.
like
Scotty.
He's about halfway there. Yeah, I feel like Enryu, they're going to feel a lot more confident with making these aggressive movements when the BKB is up on Enryu. They're going to make the movement anyway, but I feel like it's more of a forced response as opposed to something that they actually want to do.
Radiant are scanning.
Radiant.
Turns the Radiance off on Natsumi, not wanting to reveal anything about his positioning. Luckily enough,
They
gets a
Roche?
GD.
It might be a
No.
bit greedy. Oh, they give it to Yopaj actually. Smoke pops
They
on
saw.
Natsumi.
They saw. It was underneath the observer ward as well, so they knew that they were in the area. Good quick response coming up from Paulus there.
Do have Lena as well building into this machine gun sort of build. Yule's BKB, the boots to travel into the Dragonlance next, is also gone for that damage talent as well, so we'll see. This game can continue on for Yopaj, could be a little bit too much damage for Execration to deal with unless they can jump and catch her on the backline.
Still though, the cold embrace is just going to nullify everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep saying it until the cows come home. RR needs to die if Neon have any kind of chance of winning a lot of these team fights. Or he needs to be in a terrible position. But I feel like he's shown that that's not going to be the case for him. Roche would help though. Lines drawn though on the minimap. Smoke up just from 2, I believe. Nico and Yoe the only ones caught underneath it. He's actually going...
Are you on this observer ward?
Thought it was happening already. He backpacked his infused raindrops wanting to go for the snatch.
Slowing this one down. I mean, we've had some crazy game 1 and game 2s. But now, elimination match again. They're just gonna... They're gonna play this one a little bit more slow here. 21 kills, about to be 24 minutes into it.
You can feel the nerves, right?
Yeah.
Like, normally, if this was a pub game, you would be sitting back on your slider, comfortably farming up the rest of your BKB. He's not that far away. He's only about 1,500 gold away or so. But just the threat of losing the Aegis and that being the reason that you don't make it to TI is so scary for these players.
The stakes are so high. I mean, one mistake could turn this game around just completely. I mean, it's a 2,000 lead, but it really doesn't feel like it's that much in it at the moment. And my eyes are on if Natsumi, if he can get this extra level in the reincarnation before our fight breaks out. I mean, he's about 17 and a quarter at the moment. And Execration, I mean, we did see them attempt the smoke previously. But in fact, it's Neon that are moving up aggressive right now top. Natsumi, they found the target. You were highlighting the Wyvern, but there's no follow-up. And Ryu, he's not nearby. So they're unable to deal with the Wyvern to start. Nico, great BKB. Assassinates CTM. He's too far away from the team. They're still going to try and play around the high ground. They're going to be careful. Going on top of the left track, that's so difficult because you've got the Wyvern and the Infest bonus health as well. And they buy back on CTM. So Execration, they're happy with that. You get the kill, you force the buyback, you're going to reset. They will look to force Roshan. Believe the pings are coming out though. And they'll even scout with the arrow.
The arrow? I believe it was just the one BKB popped. They didn't use it on the Slider, they didn't use it on the Lena. It was used on Doom. So, having to be a little bit careful for that. Not that they have a crap load of lockdown already. It's kind of slow lockdown, right? Until at least CTM has his Blink Dagger, but he's still a mile away.
And again, we're just back to the farm game. Slow it down. How is the live still going? And how do we feel like Palace is going to fare as well as this one gets towards the late stage? So, hold that thought.
Oh,
and
they found the Wyvern. Do they have the
Wyvern.
instant lockdown?
It's not there though. Finger of Death, they'll try it. Earthspike as well onto only one because of the rage protection from Palos. Is able to get the curse off. He might still tick off to the Viper Strike, and that he will. But Enryu, one more right click, and he get to safety. He's so low. Double leap beaties. He will find him. They'll kill off the starter, so we're 1 for 1. They're gonna buy back on the Wyvern. They want to try and heavily commit for the fight. Yopaj, Laguna, Blade, Palace. He's so far away from the rest of the team. Infest, great use of that. Dodges the Wraith Fire Blast, and he's okay.
It's a couple of times now where the Wyvern has actually been caught out in an inopportune position, but just the rest of the team not there to be able to punish it.
Just maybe not on the same page here for Neon, it looks like. As this tier 2 tower is going to end up falling. Palace has got the Scardy. Leshrak has almost got the Sunjin Kaya. And Nico as well.
Gives them the Roche control.
Yep, that it does. With Outposts, it's going to make it very, very easy now for them to control this top side.
You mentioned before about the importance of having like the level 18 on Natsumi before they took that encounter. I get it. You know, you want to make sure that you've got the reincarnation being only on the 40-second cooldown, but I feel like it only really has its maximum effectiveness when you've got it and you have buyback, because you're up against a Leshrac, you're up against a Lifestealer. Oh, actually, they get that's a huge kill. Enormous. That is going to open up Roche for them. You know that the Wyvern can't take this team fight, and they're instantly just going to book it for there. Oof, I was not watching that. What is he doing around that area without buyback?
Yeah, the Lifestealer was there with him as well, but it's just... I'm not sure what he was trying to do position-wise. Maybe D-Ward, but...
You gotta let the Mirana do that, you know? You've got leaps, you've got buyback.
Right, they're coming over. Arrow's out. Oh, just misses Natsumi. And Ryu, great jump. But now there's no Wyvern to be able to protect your way. They need the Infest, but Palace, he's running head fast on top of the backline. Lina is protected. BKB out of the Doom, so they don't have to worry about that. They need to worry about the Lash. And she's down out of the count. So is the Doom as well. Aegis is gonna get picked up. Palace, he steals it. But I don't know if it's gonna matter. They'll kill him off the once, and they should be able to do it a second time as well. The Rage is available. LSA timing a little bit too late, but he can't TP out because he has to go up against the Bashes. He doesn't have any more though. BDZ is the one leap enough. It is. Okay, Palace snags the Aegis and gets away with his life. But a strong fight for Neon.
Strong fight for Neon, still very important the fact that they were able to take that away from the Leshrac in particular. One of the best users of the Aegis in the entire game. Sure, they don't get it for themselves, but they save what could be an absolute disaster by taking out that Wyvern and immediately pushing the advantage.
Yeah, you just bringing up constantly this game, the emphasis that they have to put on the Wyvern. And you see, as soon as that hero is down, it's like a flip switches for Neon. They see the objectives, they see the opportunity they have to take a fight, to take Roshan, and this just has to further highlight how the remaining duration of this game has to look for Neon. If you don't kill RR, these fights are going to get so difficult.
And you saw the impact of having the Blink Dagger there on Natsumi as well, having that secondary way to get in onto the backlines, to get in onto Yowei and take him down super early on into the piece. Enryu does a lot on his own, but it's just not quite enough just yet.
Another thing is as well is in that fight, you doomed Yopaj, but this man's moving 508 with 3 Fury Soul stacks. I mean, that's even before the 20 talent too as well. So, I mean, I'm all down for you using your ultimate on Lina. I think that's definitely the best round to go for. You need follow-up. You need follow-up. If you don't get it from your heroes, then that Doom's going to be completely wasted. And honestly, the Curse is one of the better ways to do it. You lock him in, everyone surrounds the ulti target, chuck up the Doom, they can't escape. But apart from that, like, Lifesteal is going to offer you nothing. Maybe an open wound slow. Your Mirana hitting an arrow at 508 movement speed, that's not easy as well. So it's going to come down to, again, we've been harping so much on Vision today, but it's just another day and another game where Vision, who gets the jump, so impactful.
As well, Yopaj, you know, I think Tsunami was talking about Lina Daedalus as the way to go about it. He's switching it up to the Monkey King bar. I really like it. You know, it's something that's still able to do damage through that Cold Embrace, and he's about to reach level 20, so he could opt to go into that plus 30 attack damage, attack speed, Fiery Soul per stack strat. It's kind of like facing up against a Wind Ranger, you know, that's focus firing you. You're still going to die within the Cold Embrace. Maybe not now with this whole Holy Locket bullshit, but you know, it's still a very scary prospect to be going up against if you're already low.
I wonder if any of those neutral items could come into play as this game goes later on as well here for Yopaj. You know, we've seen already 60-minute game 1 Lister is a big factor there to help out with that CTM Enchantress. I know we're only 30 minutes in, of course. Who knows if we're ever going to make it to that stage, but you know, it's always a nice thing to highlight. Maybe these tier 4 neutral items could help out in 7 minutes.
533 movement speed now, by the way, on our Lina.
Oh, so scary. You've got War Stomp on Doom, but like, what's that? 2 seconds plus the point, so 2.6 with the Infernal Blade as well. I don't know if that's enough. You need more of a follow-up.
Man, poor CTM, he's still level 11. That is not ideal. You know, you want those 2 points at least into your ultimate. This
Look
could
at
be
the
a huge
angle they've
fight.
got. Natsumi, where's the follow-up? And Ryu's going to be able to provide it. Nico, crit counter initiation now with the cold brace. They keep RR alive, and they're beating down on top of the Slater. He's going to end up falling just before
Finally
the
get him.
curse. And now Nico as well. The Doom is out, but it's still going to cost him his life. Here's the last couple of right clicks. They'll turn. Palace stunned up. Natsumi, he's hot pursuit. He's found his target. He's trying to lock on top of him, but they don't have the control, so instead they'll just turn. Less track. No man's land. Stuck out on top of the river. BDZ. Pallets, they just have to retreat away. Cut their losses, they will. But it costs them the less track as Yowei's down and out of the count. 70 seconds on the deck.
Oh boy. Again, like, I was like, how is Wyvern not dying? He's sitting on like 100 HP for so long. Even all that damage coming through from the Lina wasn't enough to do it, but eventually the stragglers arrived. CTM, he's going to go towards this top side of the map, make sure that like he can't impact this tower push. He needs to get that level 2 on his ultimate so that he can have a bit more of a presence in these team fights at more regularity.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Now T2, slither of health. It's just, but now, still, I mean, it's a net worth lead for Execration, but you see how strong Neon are feeling right now these past couple of minutes.
This is top 4 we're talking about here. Top 4 in the C qualifiers that they're playing for, going up against either Boom or Galaxy Racer, who will be the next series, I believe, that's being cast on this channel. And then the winner of both of these series will be playing the 3rd game of the day. So it's a lot of Dota. I mean, can you imagine playing one of these series, let alone 2 of them? Like, these players, I don't want to say would be mentally done, but this is exhausting, right? You could grind out 10 pubs a day and not be as tired as you would be after just one of these series.
Yeah, these emotional toll that a series like this will have on the players, but it's so incredibly worth it. You can't even put it into words on what a tournament like the International can give one of these players. $40 million potentially. 2 qualification spots for Southeast Asia as the smoke got. And that Shadow actually,
He's first.
that's not really an easy target to jump on though. AC
No.
picked up 2,800 health, 23 Wraith King with Reincarnation.
Yeah, they were trying to make a bit of a play for the backlines, but they have no vision. And, I mean, let's see who's carrying the vision. It's mostly on the Wyvern. And we've seen time and time again, he cannot be going first into these, enemy bottlenecks when you don't know where the enemy team is. So he's having to play super defensively. I would want to give over that Observer Ward to the Mirana, just so that you can potentially get something super deep up. You've got the buyback, you've got much more escape potential than a Wyvern does, and the team fight doesn't crumble if a Mirana dies. It does if the Wyvern does.
Are there any items that we're about to see picked up? In fact, Yopaj just gets the MKB. What about Radiant though? Palace AC? Okay.
It's going to be nice.
Well,
Having that extra minus armor. And it's just going to be so important to initially delete whichever one of these heroes.
He's really disconnected from the team. They don't have CTM as well, but again, going on the Wraith King, it's a scary prospect, so they start and they stop as soon as they jumped in.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going for that maximum farm efficiency anymore, right? He's gone to 16 strength, doesn't care about all these skeletons spawning because, you're against a Leshrac, you're against a Doom, you're against a Wyvern Splinter Blast. They're going to be able to get off these spells to deal with your skellies. Much rather just put it all into your own survivability.
Such an even game here as we head to the later stages. Roshan feels like that's what either team are waiting for, potentially up in a minute 13. Natsumi, again, you see how far forward he's positioning. Okay, this time he's really split from the team. They're up top by the outposts, whereas he's down bottom farming. They look to try and get
Especially at
connected.
nighttime, you got to get to the safety of your team. Yopaj would be even better if they were able to get it onto him, but no, they don't get that chance. You've also got this wave kind of pushing in on the bot side. 35 minutes, so the double siege creeps are starting to spawn. So I wonder if Neon, with their, I want to say they've got slightly superior split push, given that they've got the Wraith King, they've got the skeletons that can just march on down the lane. That ghost push, if you will. This is ballsy though. Just walks into Wraith Fire Blast him and walks away.
That's the mental game right there. Who knows? Maybe next time, instead of just a Wraith Fire Blast, it's an Earth Spike, Laguna, Finger of Death. He's just keeping them on their toes as Natsumi. Well, he's going to be kept on his toes here. They showed up top, so they're well aware there's no backup. First life taken away instantly, and they still have the Doom as well. Oh, what a blink. Natsumi's out of there. They still
No
caught the
BKB
back
either.
though.
Oh, they caught it.
Ryu, he ate the arrow! No, you don't want to keep your support alive, and Ryu is so important now with the backup as well. The curse, Yopaj will tear apart his support. BKB has to be committed, an even better 3-man LSA. But Radiant, the damage has been dealt, and the creep wave is pushed in. You just highlighted the double catapult wave. So they take it tier 2, that's all they want.
I think they're considering the fact that Roche might be up. Have to be careful here, Natsumi. You're not level
They're
25
caught.
just yet.
I believe that's
BBZ.
Mirana. Yep, Finger of Death. Versus even Laguna Blade.
Embrace was
And
used.
Ryu's gonna buy back. Take a look at how important this fight is. The buyback from Slardar recognizing this could change the game. If we take this victory into Roche, could give us a chance to make it to TIs. Natsumi, well, he's gonna lose the reincarnation, but Yopaj is freely hitting on the high gun. Natsumi's still gotta be careful. Needs the backup of the team again. The split earth timing, and Ryu, he just pulled back. Room's out, they'll deal with Nico, but at least he's still able to use the ultimate before he dies. It's all Palace though, tearing apart the Neon lineup. It'll deal with Stardust, that's a dieback, down for 100 seconds.
It's a long-ass Roche respawn, though. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get anything out of it. Without this Doom, being able to just run in and be this beast on the front lines, you're having to play a lot more scared. And you can see here, he's going to show on the top side. Could this prompt a response coming out from the Neon guys? I know it's a 3v4 situation, but we've seen before that they feel pretty confident, even when they're down a number.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Feels like
Good, he's
Neon
got the Blink Dagger.
Oh, Natsumi?
I think he's trying to bait with this illusion. Yeah, who's baiting who?
Radiant. Walk up Paragon Palace.
Dire's
That is
has fallen.
another
Ooh,
point blank
flicker.
stun it.
The flicker for the lash. That's insane, actually. DD bottled over on Palos.
Oh my. They're actually gonna fight with this, Palace. Doom's still down. DD's gonna get popped. Glimmer will protect him. He's actually stuck
This
on
is an
top of the
axe
split
shard
earth.
lash, remember. So they want to make sure they're fighting around all these choke points, completely removing an area of initiation out of Neon's arsenal. 25 seconds on that Roche timer.
It's so unfortunate that it's a long Roche spawn because it was a little bit faster than you would have been able to use that dieback on the Slardar, but unfortunately
Just
for
hit
them,
25.
Mortal Strike cooldown, a 2-second cooldown for your Wraith King. The highest level in the game. See how
Roche is
Natsumi...
up. Oh no, they didn't spot it.
Aghanim's Shard, Cheese, and Ages is available from the second Roche, and Execration are the first to scout this out. They've also got an incredible ward around the northern side of this Roche pit, so that high ground advantage. And how do you walk into the pit? The constant split earths are going to make it so difficult. He's even got the radius as well with the talent.
They got to get it onto the backline somehow. Do they even have a smoke or anything like that on Neon? I don't think they do.
Moonlight out, go away. Get the ward. Both D wards are going to come through. But still, I mean, the Leshrac split earths are covering the pit here. Arrow. Gonna get
He's
eaten.
on the front.
Wraith King, oh, the backline, Nico is able
Divide
to find
and
the
conquer.
Dune on top of the Lina. That's a big target, but he doesn't give it to him. Look at the Lina turn, Finger of Death out. Now with the Reincarnation, they're going to try and look to turn and fight this. A buyback coming through. Doom's not going to have his
Ryu.
ultimate for the second life, but Ryu, he's caught out. The split earths, they're layering the ground, Neon. They just can't get in the midst of it. Ayula's controlling up Genuel as well. They're going to lose 3 heroes here into the TP, maybe. Oh, the nick of time stun. As 3 will fall, now you can take the second Roche of the game here.
Yeah, they're completely giving up on the Roche now on Neon. Natsumi tipping down to the bottom side, trying to push it out, create some distractions around the map. He's got a Bloodthorn. That's how much this Wyvern is causing them issues in this game. He needs to make sure they're getting the silence, and they're just wiping him out instantly with the combination coming out there from Yopaj. And he's tired of getting doomed. He's going into that Lincoln Sphere.
You do see though, like even if he gets doomed, there was the same occasion that fight. He got doomed, but there was no one to jump and actually stop the Lina from right-clicking. So your bud's like, alright, you do me, but I do so much damage. As long as I have Fury soul stacks, I'm gonna stand my ground and try and right-click you down.
I feel like they've got to give this up. No, maybe not. They might be able to shove it out. Ooh. It wouldn't be a top 4 decider unless it came down to the wire like this. Neon on the ropes. Execration, they can taste it. They can taste moving on to the next round, the semi-finals, if you will. But it still feels like a mile away.
How... Are you a fan of the Aghanim Shard on the Doom? Do you think there could have been a different target you would have preferred, or do you like this for Nico?
Who even else is there? I mean, open wounds on Lifestealer can be kind of nice. The slow, just for being able to kite around, particularly the Wraith King, is going to be good. Wyvern is okay, Mirana's is horrible. I never want to see Mirana get it until it's literally cannot go to anyone else. And even then, I'd probably sell it before I gave it to Mirana.
And I guess with that Ag Shard on the Doom now, I've been harping on kind of the stun lock and anyone following up with the Doom ulti. So now having just a little bit of extra stun, I mean, you kind of have that old level death as well in there, worked into the shard. So we'll see how that extra 0.6 seconds of stun is going to come into play, depending on the level.
I mean, they're just holed up inside their base. They realize they can't go anywhere right now on Neon. What's a buyback status looking like? Wraith King doesn't have it. Lina doesn't have it. Slardar doesn't have it. Lion doesn't have it. Pos 5 Viper does. So, you know, big victory there.
Gonna do it the methodical way. At this bottom tier 2 tower, the last remaining outer tower here for OB.Neon. Themselves are looking to try and get outside the base, maybe a little bit of outburst control, some waves as well. I mean, you still have the top of the net worth here on the Wraith King, and Lina shortly behind as well. The high ground now under siege.
Gotta get that puddle down, Slardar. It's coming from the backlines.
Flicker, Palos gets rid of the Bloodthorn instantly. Yopaj has to be careful of his positioning.
Nico is standing right next to RR, making sure he can save him if there's any kind of attempt to get it onto the backlines.
What are we looking like
Repel them.
gem-wise too? Doom's the only one with a gem. So, a little bit of extra... Oh, Natsumi? I think they saw Leshrak actually TP out. He's instantly trying to connect back up with the team. But both sides scans connect.
They'll know. Like, if they were looking on the minimap, they would have seen their creep wave disappear somehow, even though he's under the cover of the Moonlight Shadow. But still, I think they're just wanting to be patient. It's only a minute and a half away from this Aegis being reclaimed. So, Tier 3 tower, yes, it's basically gone, but I feel like you don't want to be fighting into that double life. Satanic coming out next for Palos. It's going to be quite nice for him. It's gotten to the stage where, like... Ugh. He's going to need to sell one of these other items soon. Of course, the Aegis is going to be reclaimed, but sell your phase boots, pick up something even better.
What do you feel like one of those items could be here that he's looking for?
You know, a quick look. I mean, it could be great if he could get onto the backline somehow with like a Swift Blink. But I feel like a big part of their potential is standing near your way, so that in case he gets gone on, he's still got that infest power.
Yeah. And it feels like, I guess, if you want to jump on the back, just infest in a brother like Nico. Maybe you can be that carrier instead, and instead, like, Missile Blade, almost.
I wonder if he would even consider going the Ag's Blessing, just because it, you know, reduces the infest cooldown to 20 seconds, increases the cast range by a lot, so that you can be a bit more of that backline menace.
Yep. And you're going to get to the stage where, when he's 8-1-9, 492 last hits, he is just getting out of control, and when you're running out of slots, it's eventually going to get to the stage where, oh, I may as well buy Blessing, may as well buy Shard, why not?
Aegis reclaimed. They use the Moonlight Shadow, probably just to retreat, you would hope. It's a bit of a fake back going on here.
Nico. Yopaj might walk underneath the observer ward that Radiant have in the Tinker position.
He's
And
right
Ryu
there,
as well,
though.
smoked up straight into Nico. They find the target with the Wall Stomp. That's exactly what they need. With the help of Palace's damage, they'll kill off the Lina. Now she does have a buyback to rejoin them, but let's see what this is going to be able to provide them as the Wraith team getting control. Actually turns. They won't have a Winter Wyvern
Wyvern's
for
dead.
the fight, but they deal with the reincarnation with the timing. No, nice BKB Natsumi. He eats the arrow, and up with the Bloodthorns out. Palace loads up instantly with the crush, and Ryu, they control him. No life stealer, and now no damage as Yopaj back alive, shredding apart. Yo, wait, look at the machine gun go to work. 2 down on Execration, but it does cost them a couple of buybacks there, as Lina has to rejoin them to take that fight.
Oh boy. This is it. Like, it could go either way every single one of these team fights. Yes, it's a great initiation coming through, being able to focus him down, but you give him space, and he is able to absolutely rip you apart. Cheese was used there as well, and it only bought the Leshrac about 2 seconds of extra life.
And now they're actually thinking of walking up the high ground here. They push really fast.
Nico
Natsumi,
TP top. He's 35 seconds away from TPing. They'll get spooked because of this buyback, but it's a buyback that was forced because the Doom wasn't there, wasn't able to actually join in and be part of that team fight.
take a look at the net worth as well. Poor Enryu, my lord, he had such a laning stage, but this Slaughter just fell off a cliff. Like, the Mirana is actually keeping up in the net worth. We're just, unfortunately, you know, Tsunami brought up the factor of the late game Doom win percentage that he has at the moment in Dota, and the scaling potential that you have at the moment over Enryu is through the roof. Now, keep in mind that he's still going to provide some value with the Corrosive Haze. I wonder when I think you need that shard though, because it feels like he's not getting many heroes caught with the haze, so it really feels like his value right now is just get the ulti out and let the other heroes go to work.
He's getting some decent crushes off, but yeah, like you can only hit so many people at a time, and well, we've had Yopaj be a little bit indecisive about what he wants to go. I was about to say he should probably sell that Yule Scepter. You know, you don't have buyback, you need to have something that's going to be a bit more impactful. And at this stage of the game, I don't think Yule Scepter is that one. He's gone the Shadow Blade into the Silver Edge, so he wants to have a little bit of that extra survivability. Not going to be great against Nico, who's got the gem already. I was kind of thinking maybe just an Aeon Disc. Like, sure, it ruins your right-click damage potential, but it feels like you need that extra form of escape coming out from the very beginning of the fight.
And you got to keep in mind, like, he just bought back as well, so that Aeon Disc offers another layer of protection. He's got Lincolns, but is that going to be enough here? Also, Refresher on Doom. That's a scary prospect. Double Doom opportunities here.
Double Doom. So mid laners, no buyback. Wyvern, no buyback. So advantage Neon for now, with a relatively long Roche spawn again. Gaben just wanting to keep us in suspense.
He's wanting another 60-minute game. We up to 8 or 7 now here for the quals.
7 so far.
7.
That's still a lot. That's a lot of late game Dota.
Crazy amount, yeah. Didn't know we were watching China here, and those games go way too late.
Imagine if T1 was playing as well. Probably some of the best late game Dota players in the world.
Yeah, their late game capability, the execution, just like them, Execration and Neon are doing so well to be able to execute in these past couple of late game that we've seen so far in this series. And still looking to head that way, as I mean, we're about to hit the 50-minute mark, and it's only a 3,000 net worth lead for Radiant. Once again, it feels like it's all on this Roche fight. Something that we've seen through the entirety of the series. But previously, that Leshrac split earth was way too much for Neon to handle, just layering the ground and making it so difficult for you to position.
Yeah, for sure. Getting a bit lucky with this rune here, the illusion rune, going to be able to push out that bottom side of the map, make Execration perhaps second guess
Smoke up,
themselves, but
Infest,
he's
Nico,
away.
who's able to jump, smoke pops onto the back line. They haven't found a leaner though, so they have to try and
He's in the
doom up
puddle.
Andrew. Instantly, he's just running to the opposite direction with the BKBs. They popped the Wraith Fire Blast. Doom still has that second round of the ultimate to utilize here. They caught out the leaner,
Lina.
but Nico, he's canceling the blink with the Radiance. The Lotus Orb is out. They're going to be able to protect Yopaj, and now Natsumi still pushing them further and further away. Reincarnation's been popped. He's still got the BKB for the second life as well.
Arrow.
They're holding the high ground. Arrows on the mark. And Ryu back to join them as well. Yo, way! No, the Resurrection on the high ground. Finger of Death. What occurs? Flicker down. He's going to make it back up. That's a dieback. Natsumi falls as well. What occurs? He's able to rejoin them. They need a reset. Neon, cut your losses and get out of the area. As Zhao is trying to stalk and get away, but the Trickster Cloak is not enough.
Just in time for Roche to be back up and running, but you've still got a Doom available. This is the power of that late game Doom potential as he picks up the gem. He's just going to walk on back in. This is both, no, just the refresher. Damn, it feels like this game has been going on for a lot longer than it has.
There is some crazy win condition opportunities now for Execration. Only the Lion has buyback here. CTM, I mean, he's got a blink, got a force, the 8th lens as well, but we saw Natsumi had to buy back there, and Ryu had to buy back, Januel had to buy back, and now you're going up against the Aegis on Palos, the Cheese as well. I'm trying to see who's got that. Who's got the Cheese? Backpack on the Lifestealer, and the Refresher Shard. Who other than the Doom to hold?
You're forgetting about the most important item of all, the Wind Waker on
Wind Waker.
PC. He's done his job of pushing in this top lane somewhat, and of course we've got a level 27 Yoe, so those Diabolic explosions are just going to melt these barracks.
Big lift. Oh,
I don't know about that one.
Glyph. Do they want to fight before Enryu? I think you have to give up this top set of racks, especially how do you commit to Split Earth like that? And maybe you go for a mass smoke wraparound as Bloodborne's out. A lot of damage.
No Wind Waker.
Oh no, it's so hard to commit. You got Cold Embrace save, potentially an Infest save, a Wind Waker save now. So difficult. But Neon, they're all back alive, and with bot pushed in with the catapult wave, they're gonna have to reset and choose a different angle.
They can do this,
TD.
though, you know. Yeah, just get the TD and go forward, you know. It's just
not?
really one wave that you have to concern yourself with. Natsumi's level 28, so has a little bit of that extra skeleton attack damage. Not going to be impactful so far. He has finished up that nullifier, though. You bought back previously. He's backpacked his Radiance.
Radiance, no boots.
I mean, yeah. You're just going to switch out the Blink Dagger after you blink on in.
Forward, Bloodborne, Nullify, instant war stop with the Doomfall as well. They've used it on the first life with the Reincarnation. Nice force away. He does have the Refresher. He actually popped the Refresher Orb, so he still has the Shard available. So 2 more rounds of the Dooms. Here for Nico. Full set of racks claim bot, and the last set is mid. Potentially be going up against Megas if Execration stick around. Once again, they'll layer their onslaught with the Split Earth, just making it so difficult to get the jump.
Henry's going for the back line. Who can he catch?
So what
Finally
could
get this
happen?
Wyvern.
And Ryu, smoked up, how do they start? Jumped in, Natsumi, so has a Reincarnation with the Dooms out. They've been able to catch out the Lina, but the double force stuff needs to get back to safety with the War Storm.
They got Wyvern.
Lina is going to control. They'll deal with the Reincarnation. Natsumi instantly with the BKB pop, but they're going to fall. Yopaj, he doesn't have a buyback. Nico will still fall on the backline. And Ryu, BKB, TP out. Okay, Wyvern, I'm able to rejoin them here, but without
Got Edict, though.
Yopaj. How can they hold?
I don't think they can.
See, Palos, Mega Creeps Gaming, 1 game away from eliminating Neon. Your way, Up to BKB, Natsumi, forced off once again, and Ryu. It's a great crush,
Reincarnate?
but they're locking on Natsumi. They're going to be careful what occurs. It's even better than the crush. It's on to 3, straight on top of the throne. The follow-up with all the damage. Natsumi, he'll kill off the Viper. No buyback. CTM's down as well before he can get the finger of death. He's got a buyback to rejoin them. Another 3-man crush. The buyback coming out, but the reincarnation. There's no BKB. Natsumi, a forced up back to safety, but the Wraith King's getting targeted. Wraith King's down. Execration! They might have just done it, and they have! The cheese and chop! 55-minute game! They'll eliminate Neon!
Oh man, what a long road to get there. But turns out more recent international experience brought them across the line, because looking back at Season 1, hell, even Season 2 of the DPC, that is not the composed Execration that we were used to seeing. And Neon, they got so close. I think they finished like 14th in the DPC rankings, just behind Nigma and maybe No Ping as well. But beyond that, it's a so close yet so far situation. Such fantastic players dropping in this top 6. And, well, they're going to be moving on to the top 4 is Execration. Very well deserved.
Yeah, what a series performance from them. You know, game 1, game 2, game 3, all this series, they had the advantage heading into the mid game. That game 1 comeback from Neon, they were trying to do it in the 3rd game as well, but they just were not able to here, Danog. What a series we had. It's a treat.
It is a treat, and it's been an absolute treat casting for all you guys. We're still going to be there on the panel to wrap the game up with Tsunami, but for these TI qualifiers, unless anything changes, this was the last series that we have had the pleasure to do for you guys. We really hope that you've enjoyed it. We've had an absolute blast casting these games, and, well, hopefully in future years, future DPC seasons, you'll be seeing a whole lot more of us, because we're keen. We've had a great time casting lower division and having a lot of in-depth knowledge about these teams, but we want to bring it to the upper division. So, catch you guys soon.